Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Did you ever wish you could take some odds and ends from the fridge, put them in a magic bag, throw it in the oven, and then serve up a tasty meal just in time for dinner? Well, if that's your wish, it's granted, because you can. It's called cooking en-papillote. You may already know the term cooking en-papillote. It's French for enveloped in paper, and it's a way of roast steaming food in the oven, basically in a paper bag. Papillote is traditionally made using parchment paper, though you can use aluminum foil, and it works really well too. There are some nice advantages to cooking en-papillote. It's quick and easy to prepare. All the flavor gets conserved in the bag during cooking, and there's virtually no cleanup after the meal. In fact, you can serve the ingredients from the bag at the table and then toss the envelope straight in the bin after eating. So if you want to learn a new trick, sit down or stand up and watch along, because cooking en-papillote is pretty easy to do. Papillote is often a method that's used with preparing fish, but it works really well with meat. So for instance, poultry, lamb, definitely vegetables, and sausages. You can use any kind of sausage you fancy for this recipe. So lamb, merguez, Italian sausage, British bangers, whatever you fancy. Today I'm going to use vegan sausages because it's what I have. Interestingly, the cost difference between vegan sausages and meat sausages is close, and meat sausages are cheaper. So for instance, at Tesco's, their sort of own brand line of meat sausages, all kinds, pork and beef, etc., goes for $6.88 the kilo. Vegan sausages, the cheapest ones I could find there, were £8 a kilo. So meat sausages are a bit cheaper. But if you want vegan sausages, they're available, and there's some really nice ones out there. So try either, try both. So what I have for ingredients today is a lot of leftover veg from my fridge. I've got some carrots, I've got a red onion, I've got zucchini or courgette that is ripe for the using, some garlic cloves. You can use potatoes. You can use new potatoes. I'm using new potatoes because I like them, and the skin actually is quite tender, so I'm just going to leave that on. And a couple of mushrooms that are getting a bit brown, but still quite tasty and quite usable, so they're going to be perfect for this papillote. And some fresh thyme. Okay, let's get started. I suggest making two envelopes for this recipe that serves 2 people. And the reason is this: space and steam are key to success in making papillote. And if you try to cram too much into one of these envelopes, it's not going to generate sufficient steam and have space to move around in to efficiently cook the ingredients. So I vote for a bit more space in your papillote. I mentioned that paper is the traditional material for making papillote, and that aluminum foil works very well too. And so for this papillote, I'm going to use foil. Start with a piece about 22 inches long, and I'm going to put half of it over here and add the ingredients to the foil. I've got half of a courgette. I've got some potatoes. You can use any potato that you've got on hand. You just want to make sure that they're cut into reasonably small pieces because they'll take the longest to cook. I'm using new potatoes, which I really love, and I don't bother to skin them because the skin is quite delicate. It's quite nice. So let's just cut these in half. That's the potatoes. Right? There's 1 carrot per person, so I'm just going to trim that. Then cut the carrot in half, and in half again. And add that in. So we've got half an onion per serving, and I'm just going to trim the root end and take the skin off before adding. And boom, it's in. I'm going to put about 3 cloves of garlic into the mix, bay leaf. Next go the mushrooms. So we've got 1 mushroom cap each, and I'm just going to slice those and add them in. So I've got 3 vegan sausages here, and then I'm just going to organize that on the foil. And last but not least, some fresh thyme. That can go on top. I think I'll add some salt. A little bit of olive oil. And some chili sauce, just a bit. Okay, I think that's it. Now, just move my knife over here. You can take the other end of the foil, bring it over, and then starting on the outer edge, I'm just going to crimp this and work my way around to create a seal. And it's really important that you keep the crimping to the outer edge so that the ingredients have a bit of space inside for the vapor to circulate. I'm going to put this onto a baking tray, and once I've made the second papillote, I'll bung that into a hot oven for about an hour. So that's been about an hour in the oven. Let's take a look inside. You can actually serve this at the table just like I'm doing now. It's a nice presentation and it's easier. So you just cut a kind of cross into the papillotes. And then peel back the corners. Smells wonderful. Well, that's looking pretty done. I'm going to just have a poke to see how the vegetables are. The potatoes are really tender, and the carrots and the onion. So this is definitely done after an hour. I think I'll sprinkle on some fresh chopped herbs just before serving. And there you go, sausage and veg en-papillote. Enjoy.